podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. Original.
Yoinks! And away!
Basic.
Yoinks! And away!
First edition.
Yoinks! And away!
And then...
I says, Pigpen, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to put the hammer down.
Welcome to the THACO channel, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever. Organic monster.
It was an aspect of Vecna. It was basically like a weakened form of Vecna that could like teleport all over the place. And
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, like I gave them a battle with like 30 minions. It was really great.
Wow,
So much fun.
that's great. Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer, episode number 40. I'm DM Glenn here again with you, but I'm also joined by DM Brian.
Glenn.
Yes.
We're at 41. I just put up 40. I just put up notes for 40. That's how I know.
I was wondering about that, because I remember the joke last time about this episode is my age.
Yeah, well.
Well, I can wish it's my age. But anyway, thank you, Brian.
Well,
And
give it another 12 weeks, we'll get there.
Oh, okay, good. We hit the 55 mark, don't worry about it. And we got DM Full On Gamer.
Greetings, Gamer Nation.
Hi, how you doing, Full On? You okay?
Yep, nobody's dead yet.
Good. And Corey is busy running a game right now, so we got DM Crispy. Hey, Crispy.
What's up? Hey.
The triumphant return of.
We got a lot of those lately. First Corey, Crispy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting all up to speed. That's great.
Yep.
So let's just dive into it. Hits and crits.
What are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? The burlesque Louis Paradise. Miserable and lonely and stupid. What am I, crazy or something? I got something good here. What am I hanging around with you guys for?
Hits and crits. Okay, hits and crits. Who shall I ask first? Of course, the new guy, Crispy. What you been doing in gaming?
Alright, so yesterday, after we recorded Sod, I went to the comic book shop, and I bought $120 in basic and advanced D&D modules.
Oh, I hate you.
Yeah. I got all of the Slaver series, Vault of the Drow, all of that, S3 and 4,
Awesome.
I2, I got some gems, B3, Palace of the Silver Princess.
Ooh, I got that one.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm swimming in modules, rare out of print modules.
Oh man,
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I went to my half price and they're getting smart, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Full On, what you doing?
I've been preparing to run Blood Mountain at the Friend of the Local Game Store next weekend here in Colorado Springs. Petrie's Family Games.
And hopefully at North Texas RPG Con.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, but
Okay. Kind of get the old BattleTech muscles going again.
oh yes.
You've been doing tour?
Off and on a little bit.
Cool.
Not as much as I was, but I don't have the time to right now. I have to move.
Still, oh, okay. You can't kill as many Jedi. I understand. Okay.
Or anybody else.
How
Very
about you?
nice.
How about you, bro? What's up?
Oh, well, my job has finally gotten back to a semblance of normalcy, so I've been just preparing for our next AP podcast episode, and this goes out to all of those who are, getting on me and getting on us collectively on OSR Gaming about it. Just hang in there. We're going to put the puppy out shortly. Just
You're starting to sound like.
I'm starting to get annoyed, really.
I know. You're sounding like Basil Fawlty and the Germans. I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things. It's like, okay, guys, I get it. Hang in there. We're getting it done as quickly as we can.
Just calm. You're okay, Brian. Just calm down.
I'm calm.
Okay.
I'm cool.
No,
Anyway, sorry. Tension breaker had to be done.
Oh yeah. Well, me, I've been basically preparing for North Texas RPG. Now, I'm still working on that scenario. Just redid the map with legible fonts this time.
Legible fonts. Who needs such a thing?
Well, I have an area called Gun-Free Wood in there, and Thorky looked at it and says, "Why do you have girly wood? It's gun-free wood." Oh, sorry, I couldn't read it.
Yeah, Thorky would make that mistake.
Yeah. And I went to my half-price books looking for stuff, and they're getting smart. They put, some modules and stuff in the collectible area. Mm-hmm. And they were, Demon Web Pits, $15. First edition Gamma.
I got that one, too.
Oh, yeah, I know. How much?
I don't know. Let me go check. I'll be right back.
Sure. Mm-hmm. But it was first edition Gamma World book, $20. Mm-hmm. Holmes, $20. You believe that?
Well, depends on what condition they're in, really.
They're in great condition, but I got a copy of Holmes about 6 months ago. Same store, great condition, $5.
Yeah, well, half price. You want to know what? They are getting smart. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And before we go to the emails, I want to do a couple of shout-outs.
$8.99.
$8.99, not bad.
No, not bad at all.
And the nice thing what the comic book shop did was they put them with those cardboard backs that they do for comics.
Good.
They're all wrapped in plastic,
Nice.
Yeah, my Q1 is frayed beyond belief. That's one of the first modules I had. But go ahead, Glenn.
First, I want to thank DM Brady, also known as Deadlock on the OSR Gaming Board, for giving us a Wild Game Productions itself a really nice review in the webzine Mass Movement number 32. You can find that at www.massmovement.co.uk/WordPress. And he did a nice article on the OSR in general, and on page 149, there's this one-page review of all our shows, and it is really, really nice.
Yes.
Brian fell in love with it.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was very well done. And
you said you're going to go print it and put it up in game stores and stuff.
I just might. Hey, we need more listeners. We can never have too many.
That's true. And we keep getting more listeners. Vince can... We have...
Easy.
Yeah.
Steady.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Vince will stop saying...
We're just going to have so much more listeners, and we'll be the most popular. Take that, Vince.
Yeah, Crispy's back all right.
Oh, I got to give him a copy of that shirt I made for Saber Die, or THACO Saber.
Yeah. Crispy should get the first one.
Yes. Also, I want to shout out to a website called The Dungeon Dozen by Jason Schultes. It's roll1d12.blogspot.com, and those are all numbers, not one-O-N-E. So it's roll1d12. And what it is, he posts lists every other day or so for using the D12 to roll on, because the much maligned D12 isn't used very much. So he's got all these, and it just runs the gamut from what the wizard did before he became a wizard, roll on this chart, to stuff like the recent one I just put up here, Dead in a Ditch. There's 12 find dead in a ditch.
Yep.
And it runs the gamut, really. I mean, I've been compiling his stuff. It's 27 pages now in this Word file. I'm not going to print the whole thing out, but I got to go through this and use these in my games. Some of them are really neat. So that's The Dungeon Dozen. You could probably Google it and find it too. Really nice.
I could probably do a D12 of D12 tables for things you find dead in a ditch.
I know you could.
Well, yeah, no doubt about it.
I was going to ask him to do a table for you, alternate after effects of a fireball.
Lack of oxygen in the room, number one. But yeah.
So we have any emails?
We have a ton of emails, which is kind of funny because when we got together to do episode 40, there weren't that many. And imagine my surprise as we're opening the show and I open up our email account and we got 2 voicemails and 4 emails.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So I was thinking we'll just do them we'll just do one voicemail, one email in order. Is that okay?
We're going to do all of them or just...
We got the time to do that.
Yeah, let's knock out all 4.
Okay.
We do.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Let's get it on.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out who this one's from. Oh, I think this is from DM Joe. I think this is who this is from.
Not the DM Joe.
Yeah, the DM Joe.
No.
Okay.
Hey guys, I wanted to say, first off, awesome podcast. Great to finally hear second edition. I've listened to you guys for a long time, but as you can probably tell, I don't really call very often. Anyway, the question I'm having is I went from first edition, or basic first edition, second edition, 3.5, and didn't even want to touch the one we shall not mention. The problem I'm finding is that in second edition, unlike first and third especially, there's just not a lot of tools. In third edition, 3.5, I can find all kinds, just a myriad of character builders, hero forge, the whole 9 yards. Just a plethora. I got to use that word today. Of just tons of information, but can't find it for second edition. I was looking for a character sheet, maybe that's an Excel format that would allow me to have some automated functionality instead of me having to manually write it in. Not that it's too bad, but I would just basically looking for some just good, solid tools to put together, and not just web-based, something that maybe that was online, something that you put on your phone, something that you could just have access to right on your computer or your iPhone or your iPad, and not have to either go onto the web or have to rely solely on web connection. So just hoping you guys maybe have some advice, lead me in the right direction. I've also want to make a comment on the solo games. Really hard again I'm trying to take my wife through some campaigns. Back in the day we had a whole group, and now it's more intermittent, and it's when we have time together. So I'm trying to take her high-level character through a high-level campaign. And the problem I'm having there, good luck trying to find a good, high-level second edition campaign that involves maybe one or two other players besides the DM. I'm not looking for something I can play by myself, but something I can play with one, maybe two other people, and more high-level in the sense range of maybe 10 to 13, maybe a little bit more politically involved. Again, any advice in the direction of some hero-type Excel character sheet would be great. And then if not, also maybe some just ideas on modules that I could read up or get some good ideas from or about that I could take her through. Thank you guys again. Great podcast. Sorry if I rambled on there too much, but just quality. Glenn, I'm all full-on gamer. Just really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Well, thank you, Joe. That was interesting. So he's looking for.
Let me show you where you can Google that.
Yeah.
No, there are character sheets all over the web, and not all editions. Word docs.
Two words: Mad Irishman.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Google that and go to his site. He's got character sheets up the internet.
Yeah, he's got stuff that resembles character sheets of old. He's got some that people have designed themselves and given to him to put on his site. He actually has one that's a fillable PDF, as I found out on Dragon's Foot this past week.
Yes.
And he has character sheets for every edition, whatever flavor you want. It's more likely than not it's there.
You got it. Plus, you could just Google AD&D second edition character sheets.
Yeah.
I know there's one out there you can do online. I can't remember which one it is. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, aside from the one that you have us using for Epic Words for our live play, there's the just for regular documents. I mean, you got your fillable PDFs. There are Excel sheets out there. There are Word documents out there. Any document file like that or spreadsheet can just go into your iPhone, iPad, have it on your computer, have it at home, have it with you wherever you go, no problem. There's a ton of them out there, and they're not that hard to make yourself either, because I always tweak with character sheets and make my own.
Yep.
Okay, and for those of us who have the Android, there is an AD&D character generator for second edition out there. I have it on my phone, and it basically gives you, it just rolls, you can roll the stats, you can choose from the stats. It doesn't give you it gives you good, solid base to start a character.
Right.
It doesn't go really, really in detail, but you've got class abilities, additional stats, race, class, physical description, and stuff like that. And you can download that for free on the Android. Also, they have somebody from Dragons will put up there the AD&D second edition spell book.
Yep. Yeah, I heard about that.
Cleric and wizard spells, and I also have that on my phone.
And if you really want to play the extra sexy game and you want the full suite of things available to you, just go for the AD&D Core Rules 2.0 and its expansion set, and you've got everything. You've got all your books, you've got character generator, monster generator, map tools, all kinds of stuff at your fingertips, and a pretty widespread, dispersed support group of people out there still making supplements and things that you add into it: monsters, adventures, encounters, NPCs, weapons, magic, whatever. It's all out there.
And that one you'll have to go on eBay for.
Yeah, unfortunately, and you may have to pay.
Out of print.
Yeah, it's been out of print for God, how long? 12, 13 years. And
if you get the core rules, make sure you also pick up the expansion.
Yes, the expansion is necessary. It really is, because there are a lot of bugs and a lot of things that didn't work in the original rule set.
You run the original one, and then you run the expansion, which expands greatly the number of splat books and fixes a lot of fiddly things.
Mm-hmm.
And also gives you a map. It gives you a map maker in there.
Yep.
And a counter maker.
2 versions.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's what I use to make my BattleTech map with.
Yep. NPCs, encounters, name it.
Easily. And also, once you do get it, there are places, but you can Google AD&D Core Rules expansion fixes.
One of our homes, Purple Worm, has a whole bunch of those.
Yes. Yeah, it has.
By the way, I just Amazoned it, and it's available for $49.99.
Really?
On Amazon.
Really?
6 used, available for $49.99.
Is that just the basic one?
$64.95. Nope, it's Core Rule 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of them is saying new for $104.
Yeah, see,
but you can get the used for about $50.
Anyway, there's a plethora of stuff for second edition out there.
Yes.
Google is your friend.
Yeah, Google's definitely your friend. Now to his third question. Now he's looking for solo campaigns or adventures for his wife, who's running a high-level ranger, I think.
I can feel your pain because I'm trying to run a basic game for my grandson, and it looks like he's the only player left.
What happened to his best friend?
Well, one of them moved away.
Oh, that
other one
sucks.
The other one, it's like, he's not my friend anymore. That kind of thing. He's 8. What do you want?
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah. And so it's like me and him.
Okay.
So it's like I'm pulling stuff out of my behind and all kinds of stuff.
Find.
Go ahead.
Go. Yeah. I was just going to say that because of the way D&D rolls, basically, you're not going to see that much in the way of high-level campaign play for solo or even 2 or 3 member parties. Mm-hmm. Your best bet for that might actually be to start bootlegging things from other game systems.
Yes.
Especially if you want the political stuff. Start rampaging through whatever's out there for White Wolf, some vampire or some werewolf or Hunters Hunted, stuff like that. You can probably get some interesting stuff there.
There's always previous editions of D&D too.
Oh yes, that too.
Yeah, but it's like Full On said, just the way AD&D is based, it's not so much suited for single characters as it is for like a minimum of 3 players.
Right. I can think of like 2 modules in either basic or first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Ghost of Lion Castle, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there
those
are
all single-digit levels.
Yeah, that's true. But
Quest for the Silver Sword from the Thunder Rift series.
Mm-hmm.
That is set up for like either a party or the DM and one person.
Right. The old M modules like Maze of the Reeling Minotaur, that was for 1 player.
I don't know what like Silver Sword was like a low to like 2nd to 3rd level.
Right.
So
yeah, Maze of the Reeling Minotaur is like 1 to 10, but you can easily modify it for your purposes.
You might have.
You could also.
Go ahead.
I was going to say you could also probably get some good leverage out of taking stuff from further editions, other third-party system stuff that was created. Like, I'd take the Witchfire trilogy from Iron Kingdoms. You could probably scale that for a small party very easily.
Or Tunnels and Trolls. Tons of solo stuff that you could jury rig for a player and a DM.
That's interesting. You know what? I've never played TNT.
Neither have I, but they used to specialize in that for guys that couldn't find groups. They're basically shooting for the I'm not saying exclusively, but they were kind of aiming as part of their products as the guy who lives out in the rural area where he can't find any players.
Any fellow players. True.
Yeah, and this was before the internet, so they had to do something.
Long before the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
here's another good one for you. Bootleg out all the old gold box stuff.
Yeah.
All the old gold box D&D on computer adventures or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Turn those into actual play.
Yeah,
Full of ratings, all that.
Yeah, you'd have to scale it back you have to scale it way back, but yeah, it could be done.
Yeah.
I mean, almost any adventure can be scaled back if you're, shall I say, disciplined enough to be able to provide a challenge, but not, not end up sleeping on the couch because your wife's ranger died in a horrible manner. Because that would absolutely suck. I've been very lucky as far as that went. But, I mean, almost any module can be scaled back far enough. I mean, you could take, like, what we were talking about yesterday, Glenn, Village of Hamlet, and that could be scaled back for one player.
Right.
Or you could take the Fighter's Challenge, Cleric's Challenge, whatever.
Desserts Challenge, all that.
Yeah, all those, and just ramp up the difficulty level and run your wife through those.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. What about you, Crispy? You got any suggestions on solos?
I'm actually trying to find some stuff on Paizo. Somebody makes like one-on-one modules that you can play with just one person and a DM, and I'm trying to find them, but I'm not having any luck. Don't really know.
Well, they can go to Paizo.com and find them, right?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to do it for them, but I'm not really.
Gotcha.
With me, one-on-one sessions, I've run quite a few. They're not really that hard. You just have to
scale down the threat.
Not scale down. Yeah, like don't have them fight.
Brian, shut up.
Not the basilisk. Don't have them fight like the Tanari.
Okay,
like that.
good.
Kind of keep it a little more human, is what I would say.
Unless you're going to play Planescape, in which case you go crazy with the Tannery and everybody else, and you'll have all the politics that you wanted. It's good for high-level play there, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Brian. I thought you were going to mention the 4 giant spiders again.
It never crossed my mind that time.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
with a one-on-one session, there's a lot more. It's more conducive to role-playing. Honestly, you don't really want to run a ton of battles just because there's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 1 or 2 encounters. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep them small. Don't try to push to put this one person up against something that 4 players should be fighting.
You don't want Minas Tirith. Go ahead and play in Waterdeep or Greyhawk for a while.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're really ambitious, Lankmar.
Yeah, I threw Gage up against 4 zombies. That was it, and he had a ball, And the third one was like zombie leader, so I made him a little tougher, just so he'd have like a fight on his hands.
Yeah, and he freaked out because he thought it was a vampire.
He thought it was a vampire.
That's so funny.
I want to go kill those undead, but don't throw any vampires at me.
Yeah, it's like
I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, rule number 1: you don't tell the DM what you're afraid of running into.
And he should be actually with their level trading abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, smart kid.
Smart kid. So what else we got for email?
Okay, let's see. I'll mix it up. I'll do a short email from Alexander Ferdness. I think that's how you put it. Yeah, I think that's how. Okay, he says, I started listening recently, and I've been working my way through various early episodes that you guys put out. So far, it's a totally awesome show, and I really enjoy listening to it. Thank you. And so it says, if my question is a repeat, feel free to point me to the episode where you already answered it. I was hoping that DM Corey could give some painting tips for minis, such as what he uses to prime, paint, what paint line he likes to use, what green stuff he uses, and any other tips he might have. And also,
this one we should have waited for Corey.
Yeah, we should have, but Corey's not here, so he loses.
Okay.
And also, God, this is it's almost like I'm shilling for myself. He said, also, I was hoping if DM Brian could share some of his work with me. I'm quite interested in his 2E conversion of the monk. Alexander, you ask and you shall receive. While we're answering this, I will send you my monk class for asking. Let's answer his first question.
Okay.
Mini painting.
First thing I'm going to say is we'll pass this on to Corey. I mean, I've done some mini painting, but he's really the expert.
Well, yeah.
Unless you guys want to take a whack at it, go ahead.
Yeah, I can.
All three of you, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. The way I've been doing it lately is, where is it should be up here. Oh, that's right. It's in the second room. Darn it. I have basically a large plastic tub with, the base that I use to hold the miniatures while I try to paint those real, tiny areas. Of course, various colors of paint and spray on base. Primer. That's what it is. Primer. God, I can never remember the name of that. And I usually just spray the primer on, let it dry. As a matter of fact, I've got a bunch of minis on my desk right now. I got to take them out to get them to prime them. But spray on the primer, let it dry, and first of all, even before you do that, figure out what your color scheme is for the mini you're going to paint. I mean, if it's a PC, do I use this, that, or the other thing, and does this color, kind of go with that color? Or if you just want to go crazy, that's fine too. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, and sometimes it's easy with like monsters. I've been painting, and I still got to give him one more coat. The Lord of the Great Plains mini that I got at North Texas RPG Con last year, which is a really nice Minotaur. Mm-hmm. And so I just Googled longhorn steer and looked at pictures. I mean, longhorn steers, there's as many colors and patterns as you can think of, and I want that one. He's kind of red. Mm-hmm. And I just went with that. That's the color scheme right there.
Right.
So, stuff like Google can be your best friend for that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Figuring out color schemes and, figuring out how you're going to, if you're trying to do like, say, a paladin or something, you want to look at, medieval knights and see, just what their not so much color scheme, but how their armor looked,
right.
And if they had, certain like, symbols on their shields and how that all looked. If you really wanted to just do it quick and dirty, just go and look up an FCA event. Because you will see people in all kinds of get-ups and color schemes.
All big, sweaty, overweight guys in armor and
now.
That kind of, I'm sorry. Could resist.
Be nice, Glenn. Be nice.
I
mean, it does take time. If you want it to look good, you have to take the time and have the proper equipment, like a good magnifying glass. You have to go with really fine for the really detailed work. Go with really fine bristle brushes. I mean, you have to have at least like 6 or 7 different brushes going from just painting just a normal area going down to like, trying to do their eyes. That's the hardest part for doing it.
And if this is a hobby you're going to be doing for a long time, the older you get, a little harder it gets. I just went to the antiques flea market at the fairgrounds and bought one of those wraparound like things you put on that the eye guys wear with the magnifier in front of it. Mm-hmm. And then it's got a little loop on the one side that's even finer. And I had to wear my glasses on top of that.
Yeah.
just was like, okay, yeah, got the eye. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, that's the hardest part about painting minis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's some of my tips. One, I work off of a big styrofoam sheet as my spray area. Mm-hmm. And I do primering in just your standard automotive, get it out of the, cheap from the, Kmart or Walmart, get some flat gray, flat white, and flat black to use for a various base painting. Mm-hmm. Okay? do your base painting, and I do squads or groups of like 10, 12, 20 miniatures at a time that way. That way, while I'm working on my paints, then I go into my detail painting with your standard Emerson paints, all your regular miniatures. I use enamel. I'm a bigger fan of enamel. So I work with the Emerson enamel paints like you would get in your model shops that are supposedly for cars and planes and stuff. That's what I use on miniatures as well. And I do all my brush painting with that. I have a range of about 6 or 7 brushes I use for that. I also use other tools. You want to get yourself some needles and some toothpicks. Those are very good for doing the fine super point detail work. You can also use some paint pens. Some fine point paint pens work just as well as brushes and sometimes feel a little bit more comfortable for the detail work, especially if you're going to do lettering and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can understand that. I've got in my kit, I've got a box of pins, regular straight pins, and a box of toothpicks. I use mostly toothpicks to stir the paint and stuff like that. But the pins, I also have a pin vise. Anybody who doesn't know what a pin vise is, it's like a little hand drill with really fine chucks. And that's how I used to put stuff together, like Mr. Minotaur over here. I had to put his head on. So I pin viced both sides. I clipped off both ends of a pin, stuck it in the hole, and crazy glued him. That gives extra support.
Yep, that's also good techniques and elements. And you can also use the toothpicks and the pins, the needles, as painting tools. You can use them to – I do some really good blood spatter where you just take a needle or a toothpick and you dip it in the red, hit it onto a paper towel real fast, and then you just take the residue that's on there. It's like the reverse of dry brushing. And you just kind of roll it along a blade or on a shield or on the surfaces of a character, and you get good, realistic-looking blood splatter. If you wanted to have, one of those type characters running around.
And if you really want a good blood spatter, say on the face and stuff like that, get an old toothbrush. Dip it a little in the paint, get it to the right consistency.
And just poke it on. Poke it right onto the.
You get really nice blood spatter that way.
I've never gone that far. Crispy?
I don't use minis usually, so.
My man.
The minis that we usually use are my roommate actually makes them. He has his own line of paper minis.
Really?
He sells them on Drive-Thru RPG and Paizo, and they're pretty cheap. So anytime he makes a new set, we cut them out and glue them and assemble them, and then he'll take pictures for the covers.
Oh, cool.
Now, are these paper minis? Are these the ones that are just like the box, or they actually he cuts out the outline and everything like that?
He cuts. You can cut them out however you want, but he cuts out around the. The figures.
I thought they were like the old cardboard heroes where you just got the flat. I think I've seen those. Those are neat. I think I've seen them on the web.
I don't know if you can pirate them unless someone's put them up.
I probably can't. I think some other website where they were giving them away, I think. But anyway, you never heard that, folks.
The other good things to remember to keep on hand are also, if you're working with the enamels, keep your paint thinner around because that's also one of your painting tools. You can use it for making good washes or for correcting other errors or giving it that age look to break things up, getting a little paint blending going on. You can also work with again, different brush techniques. Heck, I've got a squad of orcs that I did where I hit them with a two-tone of green and olive green to give them a kind of a mottled color, and it was mixed and blended for a fade. And then it was a very good kind of airbrushy looking fade, and that was just with modeling paint cans. And then went back in. Just got to practice at it. And then you go back in and hit it up with some detail work to bring out the armor pieces and the eyes and weapons and whatnot, and boom, done. And I did, squad of 24 orcs like that in about an hour and a half. The other trick is, if you have a good collection of miniatures, set aside a painting day. You're not doing one miniature until it's done because you're going to sit there and watch paint dry. Start with 12 or so miniatures. Start at one end of the line, work your way down. By the time you get back to the beginning of the line, it's ready to be painted on again for your next coat, next layer, next color. I'm going to do all the steel work on all these miniatures. I'm going to do all the reds. I'm going to do all the blues, browns, whatever. And you just go down the line, detail everything with the particular color you're using at the time, clean that brush out, go to the next one.
Yeah,
okay. And I will. Oh, also here's a handy little tip. When you're ever out in like a restaurant and they have those like not the paper ones but the plastic things to put ketchup in and stuff, grab a stack of those.
Oh yeah,
for mixing.
Yep, exactly.
I go to this barbecue place that has them. It's like, what do you got in your pocket? Oh, nothing. It's like 2 big stacks of them. I take them home and put them in my kit. Because I'm more and more wanting to mix now. I've been buying. I know I bought the Citadel paints, but I'm starting to buy the ones with the droppers. You know, where you just squirt it in the cup and you can mix it. I'm getting more into mixing now. So.
See, I think I'm a little more old-fashioned that way because I still use newspaper. You know, I guess I'm just more comfortable using it and just lay it down like 6 or 7 pages, on the table and just get a nice good spot lamp in my little space holder.
I cut paper grocery bags.
Yeah, that'll work. Any kind of thick paper will work.
What do your miniatures come in? Blister
yes,
pack.
I know.
Yep.
Use the blister pack plastic face as your mixing bowls.
There's something I never thought of.
Yeah, but
okay. I'm just so eager to get the miniature out of the little blister pack and just sort of like, what can I do with this? I never thought of that. That's a good tip. I like
also,
that.
Also, Brian.
Yes.
Save this one. When we get on Corey again, we're going to. When we get Corey back again, I want to bring this one up again so he can give his tips next show.
Okay, yeah, because no problem. Corey is the artist of us on here on THACO's Hammer. So
well, not the only artist, but he's the Mr. Miniature.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll have all kinds of little hints and tips, and he did speak briefly about the things he does with miniatures on a previous show. So
I want to know about those.
Yeah. Oh, those are cool.
Hey, why don't we say?
And then a big brown shark came.
Oh, no. Why don't we save the other 2 for next time?
Okay, not a problem. And we still have 3, so we're good.
3, okay, yeah, okay. We might have to do an all email show soon.
Well, if we keep getting emails like this, yeah, for sure.
I mean, Save or Die does it. We might as well do it too.
Why not?
Let's go on to option package.
My personality undergoes a startling change.
You should meet me because I'm a great guy.
I like big fat men like you. When they fall, they make more noise. And sometimes they never get up.
Option package.
Option package. DMGR2, TSR number 2114, The Castle Guide.
Yes, sir.
Splat book that came out in 1990. And designed by Grant Boucher, Tony Christian, Arthur Collins, and Nigel Findlay. And it looks like it's a gang effort.
Yeah. Yeah, most of these things were. They were mostly consolidated effort.
Yeah, every once in a while you get like Steve Winter or like Paul Jacques or somebody like that to do mostly one, but yeah, most of them are like a team effort. Mm-hmm. And like I said, this came out in 1990, and it's one of the better ones.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I might actually have that book.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might have it, but it's packed.
That's okay. I was looking through it again today to refresh myself, and well, Brian and I are of 2 different minds on this, so full on. What do you think of the Castle Guide?
Yeah, break the tie, full on.
It's useful. It's got some very good stuff in it. I like some of the orthographic views of castles. You can see the different layers and levels. It's got a good good set of guides in there for the construction, for the excavation, for siege and stuff like that. You can still find them at retail price on Amazon, $14.99. You know, retail for $15.
Yeah, fairly
used for $6.99. It's out there. It's not hard to find.
I got mine for $8. Mm-hmm. So the original list was $15.
Yep. That's what made these splat books, the regular ones, the blue ones, and even the green ones such a bargain, because they pack a lot of useful information for it, and they only charge $15, which was reasonable.
Yes. Okay, what's wrong with it, Brian?
Let's.
Give me your opinion. How about that?
Okay, I'll give you my opinion. Okay, I'll give you my opinion. Now, when I first opened this book, I was thinking, okay, this is just going to be 64 pages or whatever, however many it is. It's like 128, I think. But it's going to be chock full of the system to create castles and everything like that. And that's all in there. I just was expecting it from the first page. That's just me. This one goes 41 pages in, just talking about, just giving feudal everyone feudal life and, the history lessons and things like that. And I'm like, they probably redid all this when they when they started putting out green splat books. Mm-hmm. They got tournament rules and things like that, which is really good, because there hasn't really been, to my knowledge, an official set of tournament rules. Every DM's had to just make it up. Yeah, for 2E, they just make it up on the fly, and they have that, which is good, and then it's sort of like this just jump off point, because you're going through history and talking about feudal life and tournaments and things like that. Then you get into the castle stuff,
right?
And to me, that's just a little too hard of a downshift, I think. But that's just me.
Okay. Well, my opposite opinion, Jay, you ignorant slut. But anyway, sorry, I had to get it in there. Mm-hmm. I liked it for precisely that reason, which is funny, because usually I don't go for a lot of fluff, which I don't really think this is fluff. I'm glad it did the crunchy thing.
This is crunchy fluff.
Yes, but when I first picked this book up, when I first looked at this book, I thought of it as like, this is one of those obligation splat books. I'm obliged to get this because my other players are going to get it, and I'm going to have to read this information, I thought I was going to be bored by, how much gold is it going to take to run a castle for 1 week or 1 month, and then how much land do you need, And I'm sure that's it, and that's in here. Okay?
Yeah, it's all in there, yeah.
But I didn't expect the history lesson. And I liked it. It was an example to me on some of the best splat books, some of the best supplements. Let's not even talk about D&D. I'm talking about like the majority of like the GURPS supplements too, are like teaching me something or just telling me something on a common man level, or without the BS. Let me put this. If you want to learn this, you can pull up any number of textbooks about feudal life or war or something like that. Here they just break it down and say, okay, this is the way it was.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. And I like that. Yeah. I thought that was interesting. And here's how you can change it for a fantasy world. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing.
Yeah. They would draw throughout all of that, and going into castle design, they draw upon real-world instances, such as when you're determining where you're going to be assembling your castle. They'll actually go into the different terrains, and then they'll draw a real-world analogy to it. Like foothills, they're talking about low rolling hills, rough terrain, broken nature, rugged and dangerous. Then they say, areas such as Greece, Turkey, and Italy fall into this category.
Right.
And mountains and forests and things like that.
Right.
Let's hold the hot gates.
They have the warfare stuff. This is mainly pointing towards the battle system, D&D battle system.
Well,
and I don't we're gonna talk about battle systems sometime, but it's just not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But I look at the back of quick resolution systems. Oh, cool! So they got alternatives. No, it's still tied to battle system.
Well, yeah, that's because
which is okay because that's what they were pushing.
Well, yeah, exactly. That was the mass combat system of the day. I know you prefer War Machine from the basic rules.
I was going to say, yeah, if I was doing 2E, I'd take the War Machine rules because I don't care what they say about the math and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's down to 2 formulas.
Yeah, it's true.
And just run it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I like to do battle.
Right.
We can role play around that.
Yeah, you could. You certainly could. But yeah,
they give you enough. There's enough crunch there that you can turn it into something to use at character scale for a character fight, if they're involved in things like that, or if someone happens to decide. By the way, what happens if I shoot the ballista at the bugbear?
You basically make a really, really big hole in the bugbear, and unless the bugbear's really lucky, he dies.
And it's really annoying to the bugbear.
Yeah. If he dies, he dies. But anyway,
I fire at the giant. The giant uses deflect arrows. What?
Yeah.
I thought deflect arrows only covered actual arrows, not
when you're a giant.
No.
I'd house rule that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but no, that you don't even have to. They can deflect. They can deflect. I don't think arrows are big enough. I think like other boulders thrown back at them, because that's part of a game that giants play, which we'll talk about in another
And
episode.
They have a specially carved tree that looks like a Louisville slugger for those.
Exactly.
Bang.
Yeah. But let's getting back to the castle guide. It goes into, step by step, where you're going to be constructing this, what quality of workers you're going to use, even the PCs themselves, and the magic items that they have can get involved in it to shorten the assembly time.
Right.
Number one, constructing, I should say, a castle is extremely expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we recommended this to someone who emailed us a while back. But, yeah, I mean, now that I'm looking at it, I'm looking at what it actually takes to build it, and not only that, for overhead and for paying the workers, never mind all the fun things that can happen while the construction is going on. Mm-hmm. It's really, 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 really expensive.
Yeah, I know. It really is. Mm-hmm. I was mainly focusing on the warfare part of it,
mm-hmm.
Like sieges. And attacking a castle and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
And how everything gets complicated with magic. Of course it will.
Well, yeah, magic is the wild card.
Yes, I mean,
when players are the wild card, and this book has answers for the players. Like, what happens if you have this wonderfully intricate entrance to your dungeon and the players won't play, and they start to dig? You can do that. It's all here.
Yeah.
Who digs how well, how much can they excavate, and how long will it take them to get to where they're going?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the minute they said on there about armies employing illusionists, it's like game over. Game over. That's it. We surrender.
Game over, man. Game over.
Talking about whipping hallucinatory terrain on an army.
Yes. I mean... But
mass. Oh, is that a copse of trees or mass morphed archers?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. I remember in the second book that Gary Gygax wrote, Greyhawk Adventures. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but it's the second book, not the first one. Mm-hmm. It opens up with a magical siege on a castle, and you see humans. Demi-humans, monsters of all kinds, just battling back and forth, fireballs and lightning bolts and elementals and things like that all being used in the siege. And, yeah, I mean, any enterprising player, and I think about DM Cal when I say this, any enterprising player who has the right magic items, and the mental capacity can make things hell. Honestly, on a DM.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
I do not doubt it.
But, I mean, to me, my whole thing about the Castle Guide was sort of just going into the construction. I know you were interested more in the history and the sieges. I'm more interested in how it actually gets done.
That's fine. Well, that's the meat and potatoes of the book right there, what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, you just want to nibble on the salad and the dessert. I get it.
Pretty much. This dessert's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is.
But the second course is so nice as well, where you go into, this is what the castle's like for the Dwarven Citadel. This is what it's like when you have the gnomes making the castle, and the halfling strongholds.
Yes.
Orcish keeps.
Yep.
You've got a little bit of everything in here. It's awesome.
Yep.
And then the Dwarven sappers just undermine the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, there are tons of information going, from the construction to, any sort, they even have a nasty little table in there about, some of the things that might happen during the construction time. And, everything from, monsters raiding the area and the PCs have got to take care of it, to like just a horrible disaster that basically destroys what they put up. They have this in the campaign source book. Yeah, in the campaign source book, they have the castle they're talking about. They actually decided to go into the construction of it, space by space, or thing by thing, and it was a doomed castle in the campaign source book, and they go through the steps about, how long it takes and what happens. They go in 4-week sections and, they describe some of the things that happens. Most of the time nothing happens, but every now and then something may go wrong because, you're building this stone building out in the wilderness.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
And it's like they made it up until the last week of construction, and the DM rolled a double aught on that table, which is like this catastrophic disaster. And because it's funny because during the construction they actually recruited a stone giant and his sons to help with the construction, and. As this castle sinks into the swamp, the stone giant goes to his sons, "This is why you never build a castle in the swamp."
That one's sank over, burned down, and fell into the swamp. But we built a third one, and it's still standing.
Exactly.
The fourth one's held up. Swamp castle. Oh my God! And they one in their castle on the moors. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's it. And
that's it. The Castle of the Moors.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh man,
it's like they got to the very last week of construction, and the double aught came up, which was a natural disaster. The GM, being fair, set up an adventure to give the players a chance at thwarting it, but they failed. So, massive floods raised the water level in the moor, softening the earth, causing the keep to sink into the morass forever. Oh, that's sunny. That's funny.
That's why you don't build a swamp castle. You go for the coast castle. That way, there's a hurricane. No worries.
Yeah.
Mudslides. Oh, boy. Crispy, have you... Well, you said you didn't have the book with you, so...
I don't have the book, yeah.
I
would just use this for floor plans. I hate drawing castles. It's like my least favorite thing ever.
I know.
There's some things in there that'll help you make good floor plans.
Yeah.
It'll help you.
Anytime I sit down
in making easy ones. That makes sense and account for things.
Anytime I sit down to draw a castle, I just tear off the paper and draw a dungeon instead. I'm not going to go for the castle this session.
Yeah.
There's a lot of castles down there you can just download to and say, hey, here's the castle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like having the floor plans because I don't use minis, but I use mapping. So,
Well, you know what I would do? No, and this is a shout out to one of the people on Dragon's Foot, this guy named Turgenev. This guy makes some of the best dungeons with paint shop that I've ever seen. They are
legitimately Paint Shop Pro?
Yes. They are legitimately old
still
school.
Around?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Photoshop. I'm sorry, okay. Photoshop.
I'm going.
But I mean, he does it in the old school blue scale, with the font, with the numbering font and all that stuff. I mean, he has a thread on Dragon's Foot that's, I'd say probably at this point like 80 pages long.
He's got the one he looked down.
Yeah, I mean, down to a science. So yeah, science. So yeah, I mean, and if I want, yeah, it's about time you got that, Crispy. That was for you. Sorry, I couldn't help it. It was there.
No, Glenn had told me about that yesterday, and I just caught it.
Yeah. But yeah, if I really wanted a castle and I didn't want to, spend the time designing it, I'd recruit him. I'd pay him $5-10 and say, here, draw me up a castle. This is what I need. Can you do this in, say, 2 weeks?
Or better yet, just go to Dragon's Foot and download all his stuff, or some of his stuff, and just like, okay, that's the one here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are plenty of maps in there that would make it, just a regular stronghold, like, say, built into a hill.
Or just like Google or Wikipedia some regular real-world castles.
Yeah.
Pick a scale, throw a grid on it, and say, here we go, map.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have compiled, or better yet, they have drawn floor plans of actual castles.
Yes, they have. And
yeah.
There's this one castle that's in the mountains in Germany. I have it. I made a motivational poster out of it.
Bad Ludwig's castle?
I don't remember the name offhand. I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
But it's like this huge castle. I mean, they've taken like 1,000 pictures of it. It's gorgeous.
Wow.
And I mean, I would love to see the floor plans for something like that.
Well, Neuschwanstein is actually underwhelming.
Really? You've been there?
Yes. Several times.
Damn you!
What?
I'm jealous.
I lived in Germany for 10 years as a military dependent. We did all over Europe. I've been crawling through Roman ruins, European, Dark Ages ruins, Gothic stuff, the French Sun King stuff. I've been to, Stonehenge, walked through, the Tower of London. They're all there, and they're still real good solid castles. And there's some nice stuff that you can get out and just trek through and see the lay of the land for. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I believe it. But you say this particular castle is underwhelming. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
May have just been the hike up the mountain to get to it.
Oh, yeah. That would sort of...
So what was the name of that guy on Dragon's Foot again?
Turgenev.
Look him up, Crispy.
Yeah,
very handy, very, very handy. Well, anyway, Castle Guide. Anyway, tell us about the Castle Guide. You like it? You hate it? I love it. Brian kind of loves it.
No, I like it. It's just I could have done without the history lesson. That's all.
Full on likes it, and Crispy needs to get the book. So
needs to get the book out of storage. Yes.
Yeah. So talk to us about it at THACOSAMR@gmail.com. We have a number somewhere.
405-806-0555.
And let me do the rundown. D20 Radio, gaming.org, purpleworm.org. Oh, God.
Okay, I'll bail you out.
Memory fails.
PlanetAD&D.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Nutkinland, Strolling Citadel, and the Piazza.
Those are our lists.
Yeah, that's our list.
And hey, if you're looking for maps and stuff like that, you can probably find some very interesting things from the D20 Radio sponsor, Christopher West, and mapsofmastery.com.
That's right.
Shameless plug accomplished.
Folks, we're going into people skills.
The face is familiar.
It's mine.
And so it is.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands out a mile, doesn't it? He's so common.
A little lady comes in here and starts throwing her butt around. What is that supposed to do?
All right, forget I said anything.
Maybe I will.
Well, that's pretty good.
But don't tell me you weren't looking at it.
Well, that's not half bad.
She's giving it right back to you.
People skills.
People skills. Okay, attracting followers.
Yeah.
How do you handle it as a DM? They just show up one day. Yeah. What, you get to what, name level, and then you start getting the followers?
Yeah, I mean, in the case of like fighters, you have to build a permanent base like a castle. See what I did there?
Uh-huh.
So,
yes.
Because usually when, by the time your character reaches 9th level, he's famous or infamous, depending on what his alignment is, really, and his deeds throughout his career, of course. But once that happens, then, you have a permanent base, then other warriors who either who have heard of this guy and wants to follow him because he heard he's a nice guy, he's a paladin or whatever he is.
He's got cookies.
Yeah, or even if he's got cookies for the chaotic neutrals out there. They start journeying to the fighter or the character's place of residence, and they start saying, we've heard of you, we want to follow you. It's basically a contract at that point. You treat us well, we'll defend your place, and then you can do what you need to do. If we need to go to war to support the king or whatever, we'll follow under your banner. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So, how did you hear about me? I killed all the witnesses.
People talk.
Crispy, have you had to deal with followers with your players or anything? Henchmen?
No, we've never been that high in old school D&D.
Ditto.
Highest we've ever been is like 8 level for one-shots and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I've been there. I've got a character up to 8th, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And it's always like the lower levels. But, you do have to do, hirelings once in a while.
Yeah, especially with the older editions, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with 2E, throw a couple of henchmen in there.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, for sure. The funny part is that in my experience, when people have used henchmen, they're just basically extra lives for the PC or for the player, because if their character dies, they use one henchman. Yeah, but, to me that I just don't like that. That's just not my cup of tea as a DM. It's like if your character dies, fine, you roll up a new one, or you have the wherewithal to have a spare backup. You give me that spare, and I'll approve of it, and then we move on.
Okay, but you two have done higher level campaigns where you have to deal with followers, right?
Oh yeah.
The guys want to follow you around.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any problem with that? How do you educate it? That kind of thing?
I think just the whole experience when a character gets to 9th level and he's sitting on a mountain of gold and he figures he wants a castle somewhere, and he knows once he builds it he'll attract followers. Once the construction's done, then I'll roll on the chart and I'll see what comes up. The Ranger is a case which we'll talk about in a minute, because that's a completely different story. But in the case of fighters and clerics and things like that, they, basically I just look back on the character's career to the point where he started making a stronghold, and if he's sort of done really good deeds and has saved a princess or two, slain a dragon or two, saved a town, something like that, that all figures in. Because the more good at least the way I've run it, the more good deeds the character does, the higher his reputation is, so to speak. And that means, through this reputation, that's where the followers come in.
Saved a dragon from a princess and fed it to the town. Got it.
I didn't say that, did I?
Did you?
I don't think I did. I've been known to stumble over my words previously, so I'm like...
And we've been known to not let you forget it.
Oh, that's true, too. But,
that's true.
Yeah, with me, it's sort of like, okay, the characters want a permanent base that's not, an apartment building in town, so to speak. So, sure. And I tell them, okay, you build this, you build this castle, you build this keep, you've done a lot of good things. People are going to show up wanting to follow you. And that's just the way it is. It's a blessing and a curse for PCs, because now they have to administrate, or at least hire someone to administrate. And
hopefully you have a follower who is into administrating and can be your Alfred.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Somebody's got to keep Wayne Manor going while you're gone. Yeah, I know.
Yes. Who understands that you're going to be off doing whatever, wherever. Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, to me, it's one of those things where if something, once it goes on, I start rolling it like random encounters, like say the PC's away for a couple of months, exploring ruins, doing his normal thing.
Doing the king's business, yes.
Yeah, whatever it is. And, depending on where he puts his keep, I'll roll it like for once a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month. And if I roll something, it could be that chart in the castle guide for that matter. Something happens, and hopefully the PC has left enough of his men, and they're well trained enough to handle whatever it is until he gets back.
Got it.
Or until they flash the bat signal in the sky, one of the two.
Yeah, there we go. That'd be kind of cool if you had one of those, like a lantern, a huge shiny lantern. Instead of a bat, it's a dragon.
Hey,
dragon's back. We gotta go.
That's what a contingency sending spell is for.
Absolutely.
Ding! The Royals are coming to visit.
Yeah, the Royals are coming to visit. Oh, jeez. Guys, I gotta go back. The Royals are coming to visit. I gotta go handle this. Teleport. Yeah.
The in-laws are coming.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've played and run games high enough in level where things like that have come up. Like I said, players are very smart when they want to be.
When they want to be.
When they want. They can be really stupid when they want to be. We've talked about that.
Right. Have you ever planned encounters around, attracting followers, like making them part of the plot or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And you've had party members not recognize that they were receiving a follower and treat it like any other random that they entirely suspect and leave bound and gagged in the bottom of a pit after they've looted.
Knights of the dinner table, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is where the ranger comes in because I will predetermine a ranger's followers long before the ranger gets to, I think it's like 8th level when they start attracting them.
Nope.
Oh, is it 9th?
It's stock. For 2E, they went stock with everything. It was 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Oh, it was 10. Oh, well, it's 10. Oh, it's 10 for the ranger? Okay. Yeah, because it's 9th for the fighter. But, yeah, in the case of the ranger, yeah, through his career, once he gets to 10th level, yeah, he's going to start attracting followers. I have an old 1E character. I'm trying to remember what his level is as a ranger is. I think it's 12. And he basically ended up helping to save an elven village from a rampaging green dragon, almost single-handedly, mind. And and the DM told me, because he did this, even if he had failed doing it because he, put himself out there like that, basically, the town leader was killed in the fight. His eldest son, his daughter, who ended up being his wife, a couple of allies, and several animals, and I think one fairy from the surrounding wilderness. They saw what he did, and they just all went glomp. They all glommed onto him, and he's
what's that one ranger kit where he's the explorer, or the one?
Which one?
Where he doesn't attract. Well, no, he doesn't attract followers, does he?
No, because he's just he's always on the move, so he hardly ever.
Because I was going to say, if they ever suspended that, it's like he's going to have a real problem once he gets to 10th level.
Yeah.
Hey, go away! Doggone it.
Yeah, I mean, they even mention it like in the player's. I think it's the player's handbook where. There's this grizzled old ranger sitting in a tavern. There's a black bear sitting outside the tavern. He's like, yeah, that bear follows me around wherever I go. He just don't go away. So, it's one of those.
It's Grizzly Adams all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, yeah, Grizzly Adams was a ranger.
Yes, he was.
I mean, with the way, speak as a real life example, our co-player.
So was the kid in Gentle Ben.
Yeah, that's another one. And
Flipper.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the green version.
Yeah, exactly. The real life analogy, because I've known her for so long, our co-player Allie. she attracts animals like you wouldn't believe. I mean,
must be her scent.
No, it's one of those where I remember when we were living in Florida, and it was just sort of a joke between us as to what animal would come up to the screen door that night, because she just has animals love her. Absolutely, it's the most uncanny thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, friend to all living things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we were real life characters in D&D, she'd be a ranger. I have no doubt of it.
Yeah, dogs come up and lick her hands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cats try to live in her house. Yes. They'll try to walk in her front door when she opens it.
We used to have one of our houses we lived in, we had squirrels in our backyard, and food goes a long way in that.
Yeah,
I bought a bag of squirrel food and put it in their feeder, and I just trailed the squirrel food up to the bay window we had for the dining room, and they come up there on the sill and eat. And one day I didn't put any food out there, and there's like 2 squirrels going, "Hey, where's the food?
Yeah, where's the food, man?
Hey!" I mean, they're putting their little paws on the glass, tapping it, going, "Where's the food?
Yeah, come on, man, we're hungry out here."
Yeah, sure. She doesn't throw a steak down, a piece of meat down there.
She does absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
It's the funniest thing in the world. I mean, you can ask her in our next session when we play our AP podcast. It's the most uncanny thing I've ever seen.
Oh, she's Mother Nature. Okay.
Yeah, she is. But
all right.
But yeah, I mean, getting back to the follower thing.
Yeah. The follower thing. I know Rangers have a special thing.
Yeah, the Rangers are a special case.
Because they also have animal companions and things like that.
Yeah. They have a nice little table. It could be anything from a cat to other Rangers. Like
you're either Beastmaster or Ace Ventura.
Yeah, something like that.
Come, my friends.
Yeah, exactly. Or Zookeeper, for that matter.
Yeah. Anyway, you were.
But yeah, I mean, in the case of clerics, of course, they're just going to be sent from the main temple of whatever faith there is. That
it's an acolyte. Teach them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Same with wizards, but they find them on their own. I want to be your apprentice. Go away. I want to be your apprentice. He's still there 3 days from now.
That's the funny part, because they don't really get that.
It's Wizard Fight Club.
Yeah, first rule. Yeah. But
they stay on his porch for 3 days.
Yes.
Anyway,
something like that. Yeah, Elminster. Anyway, but I mean, in the case of wizards, it's just one of those things where they don't get them because the thinking is that wizards get more reclusive the higher in level they get because they start doing their magical experiments. They don't want people poking their noses into it.
I'd say followers for a wizard is the one thing that is really should be handled more by role playing.
I agree.
Besides, I need followers. They make such good test subjects.
Yeah.
And then, druids pretty much are like rangers, almost the exact same thing. And then there's the thief. Woohoo! Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's just one of those things where a thief, once he gets high enough level, builds a hideout.
Stick with me, kid. You'll be living on the high and the hog. Yeah,
exactly. And
it's Fagin and the kids from Oliver Twist.
I wouldn't go that far. That was pretty nasty. But I mean, they get a really good selection. I'm looking in the player's handbook right now. Thieves get a really good selection, but of course, every one of their followers is a thief or a thief's multi-class. And, I mean, they get some really good ones, and, it's just they get a gang, how it is.
Keep them happy enough to not be greedy, or at least not greedy for what you have.
Exactly.
And not wanting to replace you.
Yeah.
Don't even think about assassins. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden you're dealing with the Sith.
One master, one apprentice. Why?
Yes. Why? Because apprentice kills master.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Followers. Tell us about it, folks. THACOshammer@gmail.com. And we are going to go on to What's in the Book.
You ever go to school, stupid?
Yeah, and I come out the same way.
Is that your idea of an idea?
It's in the book.
It's in the book. What do you do when a stronghold is completed? This is known in...
knock it down and build another.
There you go.
Build a dungeon underneath it. That's what you
sell a franchise. Yeah. No,
yeah. James Dungeon Forge. Yeah.
Yeah. James on Grognardia calls this the D&D Endgame.
Which I couldn't disagree with more.
I don't.
I know.
Because, we're talking retirement here. We're talking, I'm not saying full-blown, get a keep, got a area, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying retirement, however that fit. I mean, get a keep, or start an inn, or ascend to a higher plane.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, that I understand what he means by the end game.
Yeah, I understand it too. I just don't agree with it.
How so?
Well, because, I mean, I'm sorry, but
I said running a keep. That's why they go out adventuring.
That's reason number one, sure. I mean, number two, they just want they want a place they can call their own. That's the other thing. I mean, one of the last games I played in was a Forgotten Realms one a long time ago where, and I've said it before, where the cleric reached 10th level and he decided, along with the drow fighter who was also 9th level, they wanted to build a tandem stronghold / church / keep. And, it was one of those where it didn't, and we told the DM, or at least the players involved told the DM, it's like, look, we want to build this, but at the same time, this doesn't mean we want to end the game. We want to still continue adventuring. So, and I've said it before, I will run a game as long as the players involved are having fun and they still want to play. Once they get that boredom that, we're 9th, 10th, 11th level, things are boring. It's like, oh, really? Oh, boring, you say? Okay. But, that's not the end to me. Never has been.
Well, to me, once they get the stronghold, and it's funny because I always thought like something like a stronghold or retirement came at like 18th.
Yeah.
20th. That's why I really read basic and reread, advanced. It's like 9th, 10th? Really?
Yeah.
It's because I always thought like
That's where you get minions, Just because you have minions doesn't mean it's time to quit. Besides, it's often too dangerous to carry that many bags of holding around. It's easier and cheaper to have some kind of good gating device to get to where your stuff is in a vault than it is to keep bag of holding, Heward's Hamby Hendersack, portable hole, and a pouch of many things all at the same time, and rift in time and space. Here we go again.
Yeah, the castle gets sucked into it. But anyway,
well, the thing is, dang it, lost my train. I always thought that stuff like not really, getting the keep and getting the followers was like a very subtle hint by the game to the players saying it's going to end soon.
Yeah, that's what most DMs use it for. And that's what it kind of irks me not only as a fellow DM, but as a player. I'm like, I will keep playing until I reach the suggested 2nd edition retirement point, which is 20th level. I mean, at that point, sure. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, God, I'm thinking of my power gaming days back in 1E where, characters just kept going into the 30s, 40s,
level
50s.
Fighter, yeah.
Yeah, 36, my ass, try 66. But, but, to me, it's like, okay, it just means that, number one, the character's priorities shift slightly, because now he's responsible for a whole lot more than himself and his adventuring buddies.
Yeah, now you can play Blackstone and Bloodmore, or whatever.
Bloodstone and Blackmore?
Yeah!
Oops.
Wow. I thought I tripped over my tongue. That was a good one. But yeah,
make them.
Yeah, Bloodstone. Yeah, Bloodstone. God, Bloodstone. Wow. If let's put it this way, if I was on RFI, I'd want to just talk about those in depth, because that was
And also, I thought, okay, if Stronghold and stuff like that is going to happen that early, as far as I'm concerned, early. Mm-hmm. And you get henchmen and you get followers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Don't the DM have to kind of like craft different types of scenarios, or at least a different shift in focus, so the characters don't have a convention following them?
Well, yeah, that's that's the base where you leave all those followers at, and you have your second in charge of training the followers, and also the second in charge, it pretty much is supposed to, now I say supposed to because I've known DMs who have done all kinds of devious things regarding this, but the second in charge is supposed to be the PC's authority when the PC is off, killing dragons a continent away or whatever it is. And he's supposed to keep things running smoothly for when his lord comes back. Now, of course, I've played with various devious DMs who, have second in charge guys who, as soon as the PC leaves and his head descends below the horizon, it's like, okay, he's
Party
gone.
time.
I'm in charge now, and things are gonna be different. Things like that. So that
we got a messenger swallow 3 decades ago said you died, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And there was his will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's hell to pay when he come back. Oh, yeah,
exactly.
I got it.
When the PC comes back, now he's got a big mess to clean up.
Right.
There
starting with killing this guy.
Mm-hmm. And just because you have a keep built somewhere, it doesn't mean that, an orc horde's not going to come down and try to take it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
there or not.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's one of those where it's something that gives a different set of adventures and sets of priorities for a PC rather than it being just, okay, you manage your keep, the end. Because, I will look at it, if a DM did that to me, I'd be like, really? Really? And they'd be like, well, if you didn't want the game to end, why'd you build a castle? It's like, because that's not the end, you moron!
True.
But, I get it because, I've been on Dragon's Foot, and that discussion comes up every once in a while, and they're talking about how they start getting bored as players when it gets around 8th, 9th, 10th level.
I've always thought that D&D was a great game for having, I want to say, redundancies in it at higher levels. Mm-hmm. Which is probably the wrong word, but something that, I've heard so many people say the same thing that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I get bored around 15th level. I want to do it. I'm going to start at first level again. Okay. I understand that. I understand that perfectly. And D&D seems to be built around that.
Yeah,
I hate first level.
Huh?
What?
I hate first level. It's like the worst ever.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. It can be really tough, but it all depends on the DM.
What do you start him at?
3rd.
Mm-hmm.
3rd?
Yep.
3rd?
That's what we did in my AP, Glenn, because I didn't want that. Level. I didn't want people dying.
3rd level is the new first level.
Might as well be.
No, that's an old first level because that's what they did in Dark Sun.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's right. They had to start everybody at 3rd, didn't they?
Yeah, because it's such a deadly setting, which we will talk about in another episode.
Of course.
But
But you also have good adventures where you don't even have a chance to take a breath and build a stronghold, like Night Below. You're going to be 20th level for the end of it, and you did not stop to build a stronghold. You might have some followers, if you're lucky, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there might be something from Night Below.
Yeah. Night Below is pretty hard.
These Slimes and Grells keep following me around.
He got a Grell as a follower. That's hilarious. I like that.
Yeah, name's Corey.
Now, wait a minute. He's not here to defend himself. You stop that.
What, Crispy?
I was going to say, I think the part about being 9th level and starting a stronghold isn't really for retirement. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's intended for that. I think it's intended for the PC.
It's your 401k.
Yeah, it's a tangible mark on the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You are now,
it's like,
now a force
now
to
I
be
have a castle.
Yep.
That's going to be there next time we come and play in a campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing about making name level. It's like you were building up your legend as you got levels and experience, but once you reach 9th, it was like, this guy's done so much, he's done all these things, he's something of a legend, and now he puts down something relatively, I say relatively because this is D&D, relatively permanent, and yeah, he's going to start drawing people to him, and then things get a little different. What's that?
It's name level because you made a name for yourself.
Exactly.
I agree with that 100%. And see, that's why I don't really bother when he's talking about the D&D end game. The end game doesn't mean the end.
Never does. It's not.
I mean, he's talking
it's
about
new game.
Yeah, it's just the DM has to kind of shift gears a little.
Yeah, it's a chapter.
That's
what it is.
After you've built a stronghold and whatnot, I think it's really time for you to start going and like doing maybe some court politics stuff or like magical research if you're a magic user.
Right.
You start
building an army.
You start attracting different kinds of attention.
Definitely.
Like nobles and other countries, bad guys and things like that.
Right.
Not just fighting the 5 orcs down the road anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And to use the Forgotten Realms example I used earlier, that was also part of it because we basically picked this place out in the middle of nowhere where the closest town was Erebor. And because wisely, none of the players wanted anything to do near Waterdeep. I fully supported that 100%. They didn't want to have anything to do with Cormyr, because Cormyr was too restrictive as far as adventurers went. And so they picked this place out in the middle of nowhere, and our party leader, who was 10th level.
And then they came out with another supplement that said, "Oh, we're taking this back and developing it." No.
Yeah. Basically, what happened? Yeah, I know. Basically, what the leader of our party did, he went to Erebor and he spoke to the Lord there. I forgot his name. I just looked it up yesterday and it went right on my head. But he spoke to the Lord there and he said, "Would it be okay if we built this castle?" I think it was like 40 miles outside of town. Way far away, and, after a long role-playing discussion and, a couple of assurances and things like that, the permission was granted. And, that's a good thing in and of itself.
This sounds like
7-Elevens get built along the highway.
Yeah.
This sounds like Kermikos all over again.
What do you mean? Oh, no.
How Duke Stefan got his,
Duke Stefan came in and just took over. Make no mistake about that. He came.
Well, no, but he had the blessing of
the Emperor.
Of the Emperor, yeah,
because he made a deal with the Emperor. He sold his familial lands in Thyatis for this little frontier. Yeah, exactly. Then he went in and he kicked ass. He took over, and that's how it ended up.
Okay, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, that is one way to do it, not the right way.
I like my half-ogre's way to do it.
What's that?
I like my half-ogre's way to do it. I didn't build a castle. I conquered a castle. Didn't make it better.
There's another one. There's another way to do it.
Actually,
in my 40 game, we have like 3 castles. It's kind of ridiculous.
Really?
We just keep clearing out castles, and we're just like, all right, this is ours now.
Yeah. See, and that's how it was back in the day.
We killed everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just picked a spot and you just built it. And if the local king came calling, if he was not smart enough to bring his standing army with him, then that king was going to be assassanated. Then the characters are going to be kingmakers.
I've been planning this game I want to do in North Texas has to do with the cattle drive. So I've been watching like westerns that have to do with that. And I watched Red River, and that gives you the best example of doing that. John Wayne travels as far as he wants to, says, "This is good land. This is my land now.
Yep.
Brand the cattle we have, the 3 cows we have, the 2 cows and a bull. Let them go." 2 guys ride up saying, "This is Mr. Diego's land. This is Texas. Diego's land, blah, 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 blah." And he says, "Well, you have to take that up with him." He says, "Where is he?" "Oh, he's about 400 miles away." And basically Walter Red says, "That's too much land for anybody." And he had to kill like 7 guys to hold that land south of the Red River.
Yeah, they talk
about that's a classic example.
Yeah, that's claim jumping.
How somebody's house. I mean, well, he didn't really think of it as claim jumping because he said, this Fernando got it from the King of Spain. He said, "What did the King of Spain get? He probably took it away from the Indians, right? Well, I'm taking it away from him."
Exactly.
And he said, all this land south of the Red River is mine. You want to fight about it? Come on. That's how they did it.
Yeah, that's how it was back in the day. And they talk about that in the Castle Guide, actually.
Right.
You know, they talk about that's one of the ways that characters can get land. It's not always performing some sort of high service for the crown and the king gives them a land grant somewhere. You know, there are times where it's like, look, you know, we're out here, they're 6 weeks journey away, and if they come down here to try and start something, we're gonna be ready for them. So, yeah, I mean, there are those who do it that way.
And being adventurers, you're always on the cutting edge of the frontiers anyway, so you're out beyond the border, you go forward, you seize a chunk of land, you kill off the orcs and hobgoblins, you build a castle, and you just improve the road feeding back, and you just extended the borders of the kingdom for them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? And remember, folks, you don't have to do all that. You can do it if you want to. You want to establish a kingdom, but if your sights aren't that high, if you're, say, a ranger or a druid, you could build a log cabin in the middle of the forest and clear out, like, you know, so many square miles around yourself and just live there, or make a roadhouse or something like that.
Throw it in on a crossroads. You're good.
Pain don't hurt.
That's
nice one, Crispy.
Right. Next thing, yeah, roadhouse.
So bad it's good.
Rule 1, be nice.
Until it's time to not be nice.
You know, anybody comes up, you can roundhouse kick them. Roadhouse.
Or rip their throats out.
Yes, rip their throats out. But, I mean, you don't have to be that grandiose if you don't want to. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, you can do it quick and dirty.
This is 5 acres. This is my land. You know, that kind of thing.
This land is my land. Sorry. I had a flashback to 3rd grade. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you totally, Glenn. I mean, as a DM, you don't have to do it, you know, completely by the book. You can do it quick and dirty. All you have to do, as we suggest here on THACO's Hammer, always, is to use a little common sense, a little logic.
And once again, I agree with James at Grugnar. He says about the D&D end game, but remember, the end game is not always the end.
Never. No, it's not. You know, it's up to whether, I mean, the DM should have a conversation with his players and say, okay, guys, you're at this point in your adventuring lives now. A couple
do you want to retire or keep going?
Yeah, exactly. Some characters are married. You have a stronghold. You have, you know, a couple hundred people now to be responsible for. Do you want to keep going, or do you want to call it here and start again? That's the responsible thing to do.
Yeah, and there's some players who don't mind. That's fine with them. They retire the characters, and all of a sudden their characters become prominent NPCs in the campaign.
Yep.
We need to know about these orcs over here. Let's go talk to the ex-fighter who used to be a PC who runs the roadhouse down there, or the tavern, or he's got a blacksmith shop or something.
The name is Dalton.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. Now Roadhouse is stuck in my head.
Oh, yeah. Think of a Family Guy. Roadhouse.
Hey, he's the new sheriff. He carries a 4x4.
That's right. So, you guys can tell us all about it. THACOshammer@gmail.com. What's our number again?
405-806-0555.
And all the usual places. And let's move on to Snipe Hunt.
Yes.
If you only had a living brain.
What do you think, escaped gorilla?
Listen, you're making enough noise to wake up the dead.
I don't have to wake him up. He's up.
It's time for a Snipe Hunt.
Okay, Snipe Hunt. Another standard, the Basilisk.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't get stoned any other way.
This is the bad way to get stoned.
Yeah. This is page 14 in the Monstrous Manual.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And we're looking at three
different types.
Yep. Yes. Lesser, Greater, and Dracolisk.
Yeah. Yeah. The Lesser is the one that everybody's familiar with, going all the way back to Moldvay Basic. Fairly large creature, and it's one of those things where if you're going to fight it, you keep your eyes closed. Because if you look at its eyes, its gaze will turn you into a stone statue.
Yeah. These are the pets Medusa keep.
Yes. Yeah, they would. Absolutely.
And a couple of cockatrices,
Oh yeah. Now see, you're giving me an idea for an adventure encounter. But yeah, I mean, everybody, everyone who's played D&D for, I'd say, a minimum of, say, 10 years, they know they've gone up against basilisks at some point.
Oh, yeah.
The disadvantage to basilisks is that they're slow. They don't move fast at all, which of course gives you time to run away if things are going badly for you.
Which is surprising because they have 8 legs. And they
that's the funny part. Yeah, that's the funny part because, usually monsters with multiple legs can move really quickly, like, Displacer Beasts and Arumbraxes. I think that's how it's pronounced. But
it just gives them a penalty to save versus the trip spell.
Yeah, then there's that. But yeah, that's the one we're all most familiar with. Now,
I love it. Lesser Dracolisk alignment nil. It's not even neutral. It's just nil. No alignment.
Which is kind of funny. It should, if it's going to be anything, it should be neutral because it's just an animal. But I like to think that's a typo. But then of course I want to say I'm not 100% certain about it, but I think in the Monster Manual 2. I think it made a debut in a module somewhere. I just can't remember which one. And then I think it was put in Monster Manual 2 in first edition. The Greater Basilisk, which is, the same, not so much the same. Yeah, bigger and can inflict a lot more damage. These things have 10 hit dice. They have a claw bite routine, 1 to 6, 1 to 6, 2 to 16. And then
2 types of poison.
Yes, that's the other thing. I was just getting to that.
They got poison on top of the gaze?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Poison claws and poison breath.
Yeah. Save or die. There's a plug.
Yeah.
The thing is that the save versus poison is at a +4 bonus though. It's deadly, but at the same time it's weak.
Real slow.
Yeah. And
that's for the claws. It's only a +2 bonus for the breath.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. And anyone within 5 feet, which is melee range, they have to save versus poison at a +2 bonus or die.
Within 5 feet of the mouth. It's a 12-foot long critter. Yeah. That's why maps are important.
and then from there we move up to the Dracolisk, which is a bastard offspring between a dragon and a basilisk.
I don't want to know how that happens, but yeah.
I assume you got the gaze. Yeah. I assume you have the gaze that turns to stone, but at the same time, it spits acid.
Yes. Yeah. 5 feet wide and up to 30 feet away. It's basically, it's a stream, just like a black dragon.
What was that, Crispy?
I said that's so metal. I'm sure Iron Maiden wrote a song about this monster.
What, really? Dracolisk?
Yeah.
If they didn't, Deathclock did.
I know. Well, yeah, I'd say Deathclock because I'm a Maiden fan, and no. But yeah, they spit 3 times a day. Their gaze petrifies within 20 feet, which is pretty important, and also it has nictating membranes in its eyes, which only give a 10% likely chance of it being affected by a reflected gaze. Because, of course, any PC who knows they're going up against something that has a gaze attack carries a mirror.
Right.
Or
shine that shield up real good.
Real good.
It's a globe of darkness. At least a globe of darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But I'd still they'd have to save because they're targeting its head.
Shine that shield up real good, turn it sideways and stick it.
Yeah, I knew you were going
there. Just put it down on an area, then go in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do that. I just suggest doing it from a flanking or a rear position rather than doing it straight ahead, because unless you're going to flank the thing, I'm still going to give it a gaze, and you're still going to have to make your save, which means, of course, you're going to if you fail it, you're going to be in the middle of casting a darkness spell, and all of a sudden you're a big stone statue, which would be bad.
Okay,
but yeah,
Basilisk. Any ideas how to use it, or have you used it in the game, and what was the results, and how did it work out? Who wants to go first? Anybody?
Full on, you go first.
Well, let's see. I have used it in multiple adventures to include the one that appears in as a stock encounter for your Night Below, as well as the one that appears in your A-Series Slave Lords modules.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, when after your characters have been completely disarmed.
No.
No? That's not down in the caves?
There's one down in the caves in the last one, but there's one earlier that you run into while you're assaulting the area of the Slave Lords.
Oh, there you go.
In the ruined part of that keep where they keep the slaves.
Right. Okay. Oh, wow, and there's a basilisk in there? Wow.
It is, along with a sundew and other oddball things.
Oh, yeah. Yes, wow. I haven't seen a sundew used in a while. But yeah, I mean, there's one way to keep slaves in line, have a basilisk wandering around.
I had a group that would, like, if they were turning somebody over to the law, and they knew they couldn't hold them, they had a basement with I forget if it was a basilisk or a cockatrice. No, it was a basilisk. Throw him down there with the basilisk. He ain't going anywhere. Put a basilisk in a cage, like on the other side of the room.
That's actually
what's all these statues? It's our prison.
Yep. We don't have to feed them.
Yeah.
All we need is a cleric with a flesh to stones or stone to flesh spell.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going on trial. He's going on trial in 10 minutes. Can you take care of him, please?
Yeah. Take him to the other room. Zap. Okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, if he fails his system shock roll, well, then he was guilty.
Yeah, it's you pay you do the crime, you do the save, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're innocent, you would have made your save. There's a lawful evil society for you. But anyway, I've used basilisk.
If you really get mean, you can always start making little rocks out of big rocks.
Ooh. Now that is bad. Wow.
Your death sentence has been commuted.
Break down these statues. And of course, it's the guy's family or something like that.
Oh, wait, everybody's getting hungry. Okay, stone to flesh.
Crispy, you have any basilisk experience?
I've used both the basilisk and the dracolisk, and
use the dracolisk?
Yeah. Actually, just a little while ago, I had a friend in town, and we were playing, and they killed it pretty hardcore. They killed the dracolisk. Yeah, they just beat the crap out of it.
Yeah.
You want to have real fun? Put it in barding.
And then with the basilisk, because it was a lower level encounter, I almost TPK'd them. So it's weird how it works out. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose.
Now, was this 4E?
No, this was Pathfinder.
Oh, okay. Okay, Pathfinder. Ow. Oh, man, TPK. That must... Well, at least you're alive, sort of.
Well, yeah, I killed 2 out of 3 of them.
Wow.
Or, sorry, 2 out of 4. Yeah, it was 2 out of 4 of them. And the ones that were left were, like, the thief and the spellcaster, so they weren't getting their friends back.
Yeah, they're just going to leave. There's nothing
we'll take our statues and leave.
Yeah.
They didn't get to take the statues.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was like a Monty Python runaway kind of scenario.
Yep. That's all you can do at that point at low level. I mean, I've used all 3. Because this is one of those monsters you can put anywhere. You can run into them in any land at all. I mean, they're rare, but you're going to run into them in Arctic conditions. Yeah. Forests, deserts, anywhere.
Any land.
Right. And, of course I've had, most of the time if there's a ranger in the party that I'm DMing, if they have a random encounter with a monster, there's a really good chance that the ranger can track it back to its lair.
Ooh,
and that's a good way if they're smart about it to get some experience and things like that. But I mean, random encounters, planned encounters, lairs, a lair with a basilisk family. I think one of the players got turned into stone by one of the babies, which was
one of the babies.
Yeah, by one of the young. Yes.
Oh, brother! I didn't think they had that power yet.
That was a little humiliating.
Another fun thing is to give it as a mount for some of your big bads.
Yeah, the Dracolisk, yeah.
No, not even that. Just regular lesser and greater basilisks as war mounts for some pretty cunning Underdark races, or just surface, wastelands races. Orcs and Durgar and kobolds and goblins and all kinds of stuff can make. I've done ogres riding on greater basilisks.
Wow.
With some war barding and a nice big wide, collar of shame.
Collar of shame. That's funny.
You must put on the cone of shame.
So, is there any way we can put these in unique encounters or change them in any way to make them a little more interesting?
I think there's one out there called the Pyrolisk.
Yes.
Which is, I think,
mating
of a basilisk and a red dragon.
He looks at you and you burst into flame?
No, he's got fire breath.
But that's a good idea.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, you immolate for,
You spontaneously combust?
Yeah. That's an interesting...
Thief's over here with marshmallow on a stick. Right next.
Exactly.
Breed it in with some of those other great lizards that were from your basic days and give it, the wall climbing abilities and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Oh, my God.
Give it a climbing movement.
There is a dragon article where you can cross basilisks with anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that somewhere. Where they just go absolutely bat-ass crazy with their mating, with their prodigy of these matings, and it's just
they have
something.
That gaze that reaches into the ethereal and the astral plane. Imagine crossing. I know there are drow scientists who cross these things with phase spiders and with the steeders.
with
evil.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's going to cross them with displacer beasts.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Displacer basilisks.
The Illithisk.
Oh, come on! Come on! Oh my God!
Monster.
Yeah, he has to have the stone to flesh, otherwise he turns them to stone. He can't eat their brains. It's stone.
The Adherarisk.
The Feralisk.
The Deathnisk.
The Blinklisk.
Oh, God. Okay.
Blinking basilisk.
Now there's something interesting.
I call that it's a Bassahound.
Bassahound. Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Hey, the Hydralisk.
Yeah.
Multi-headed like a Hydra.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be like the marine version, like a sea monster. You're swimming, he looks at you, turn to stone, you immediately sink.
Yep. No, I was thinking like Arlie Ermy, where he cusses you out as he turns you to stone.
The blue whalelisk.
Oh, man. Okay.
To do so much to the basilisk, folks. Tell us about it at THACO@gmail.com if we ever get through them. Oh, my God. It's time to close 41.
Yes, it is.
Even though I called it 40 earlier.
Yeah.
And I hope we give you some good fodder on whatever we were talking about this week.
Whatever.
And next time, I hope Corey will be back so we can finish whole cloth. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess say goodbye, Fawn.
Goodbye, Gamer Nation. I'll see you again soon.
Yay. How about you, Crispy?
Good night, everyone. I mean that literally. I'm going to bed after this.
Oh, sounds so sexy. Brian.
How can I follow up on that? Until next time, folks, we'll be seeing you.
Okay. And I'm DM Glenn, and I'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. So what other...
Blue Whalelisk? Really?
Blue Whalelisk. I like that.
Blue Whalelisk.
Spectralisk.
Say that 10 times real fast.
Oh, my God.
What?
Yeah, you're triple.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.